All right. What's up, everybody? Today we're going to be doing a Marvel Rivals character tier list. We waited so late in the game because I wanted to see all the buffs and nerfs that was coming to certain heroes right before season one, and just wanted to play with Susan and Cat, Susan and Mister Fantastic just a little bit. But let's just save time. Let's just hop straight into the list. That's what you guys are here for. Starting off with the Vanguards. Hulk. Hulk got a nerf, so his bubble doesn't do 250 shield anymore. It does 200. Slight nerf, but I mean, a character was already struggling. If you give him a nerf, I mean, the only reason I personally think he sees play at this higher level is because of his team up with Doctor Strange and Iron Man. He just doesn't have that much projectiles. I know I say that, and he's Hulk, and he doesn't have that much ways to really protect himself and stay alive longer. Like Venom has a shield, and he could swing out of there. But next up we got Doctor Strange. Doctor Strange S tier. We all know it. Best Vanguard in the game. One of the best characters in the game. Um, yeah, his shield's just crazy. His shield can cover the entire team, so you can make really strong pushes whilst keeping everyone safe. And it has like I believe 800 or 900 health, which is massive. You know, he doesn't have that much on the offensive end, but you still can get like pretty good kills with him, especially with that team up with Hulk with the Gamma Burst. And he has his portal. You know, you could do a lot of cheeky things. He could levitate and cancel Hela's all as we've seen on TikTok and other stuff. But yeah. Next up is Cap. Captain America, I think he got the most buffs in the update. They give him more health. His shield has better cooldowns. His shield is a little bit stronger. But ultimately, I still feel like it's not enough. Uh, we're looking at a dive tank. And the thing with dive tanks is they're there to harass, right? Now, my question is, does he do that job better than Venom? No. Does he's really hard to kill, but he doesn't really do that good of a job at killing anybody. Um, he can do some cheeky things with his shield, like send Iron Man all spark and stuff like that. But ultimately, I still feel like he needs a little bit more to be effective. Right now, he's just kind of hovering around the middle, below middle tier. Um, Groot, I feel like Groot is A tier. Um, I picked him up recently, and I'm still like kind of learning exactly where to place the walls, when to place them, things like that. But for the group players that know how to do it, he's nigh unkillable. He gets crazy amount of health. He can do double the damage. He can contort your teams in ways to make you guys have to move around certain points unless you want to stay there, just shooting up walls the whole day. His ultimate is really good as setup, and a lot of people don't really rate it by itself, but I feel like even by itself, it's still pretty good because it draws everybody in and holds them for 3 seconds, and we know how long 3 seconds is in this game. And you just get everybody firing at them without an ult or with an ult. You kill or do crazy damage that eventually kills the next team. So yeah, Penny. I'm gonna put Penny right here in B tier. This is one of the first characters I picked up at the beginning of the game. I immediately knew that she was gonna be good. I just didn't know how good. Bro, her webs has like a 2 second cooldown, and it cancels like most of the ults in this game. Your spider nest, if you know where to place that, you can put down your mines. Your team can't see the mines, and you have the little spiders that attack people too. And she has a gun, so she's one of the better range tanks in the game. Um, her ult is really good at locking down, but I wish it was just a little bit more stronger. Like it did like more damage. But other than that, she's still pretty good. She has good traversability too. With a web, she can shoot up. She could also wall crawl. You don't hardly ever see Penny doing that. I mean, she doesn't really need to, and she can heal herself, which is really good for a tank to be able to do. In addition, with the other heals that you're getting, and pretty quickly too, and it gives her bonus health. Now, my personal favorite tank in the game, Magneto, S tier. I would argue this. I'm not completely sold on it yet, though. So for now, I'm gonna give Strange that. But Magneto has a bubble that he can place on himself. He can place on others, like Scarlet Witch, right before they do an ult to keep them alive. He has a pretty good shield. In some cases, his shield is actually better than Strange's. Although it has a timer on it, 3 seconds, it cannot be destroyed unless you block a ult. So like no matter if Punisher's sitting there with a turret or whatever, it cannot be overwhelmed and cracked like Strange's. But it's only 3 seconds. So there's a way. There's sometimes where that shield is just better. He has better range than Strange because they both shoot like the same R2 ability out of their hand, but Strange one has like it moves so slow that you're not gonna hit people beyond a certain distance. And Magneto has that L1. I play on PlayStation. I don't know what's the keybind on PC or other games, but that L1 where you could just push other tanks back, like a Hulk trying to come in on your team, a Cap trying to come in on your team. You could just keep pushing them back and zone them. And then he has that really good team up with Scarlet Witch, where he gets that great sword that gives him even more range and even more damage. With that, I feel like he's better than Strange, but then Strange has to team up with Hulk, so maybe this is the way. But once the Strange get a buff, or nerf, which I know he will, I feel like Magneto will then become the best tank in this game. The next sleeper tank, in my opinion, is Thor. Bro, you have that L2 where you can push other tanks into your back line and annihilate them. I pushed a couple guys off of the map with it. Uh, it gives them health when you're using your normal melee attacks and you switch in the hammer throw in there, you get even more health back. So even when you find yourself taking on a 1v1 or a 2v2 and you don't have a healer, he has like two moves in his kit that could give him 200 health. I mean, well, 100 apiece, but like, 200 health in total without having to wait on the cooldowns. And then he has this Warrior Madness where you could just get those hammers back and go to town. With that Warrior Madness, he's one of the hardest hitters in the game. I routinely take on two tanks, sometimes even when they're being healed, and I don't even have a healer in Warrior Madness with Thor. He's just crazy. He's good. He's underrated. Venom. Venom's getting some good buffs. I think his ultimate is stronger, which I think he needs, and he gets more health from the ultimate. So I don't know if that really puts him up here yet, but he's definitely a strong B tier. I don't know if I'd put him over Penny because Penny can straight up just like stop a lot of ults and hold down positions way better, and that's what you really want your tank to do. But if you want to play a Ras type character, I strongly recommend Venom. I feel like he's the best Ras character in the game. Just dive that back line, slow down a lot of healers and stuff. And then most of the times when people turn around to get you out of there, you could just swing on out of there, get your heals, come back, rinse, and repeat, and just be a nuisance all game. But that's it for the Vanguards. And speaking of nuisances all game, Black Panther. You don't see many good ones, but when you do, boy oh boy, I firmly believe mastering this guy can, bro, he's just crazy. And he's so hard to hit when he's doing his moves too. That's what makes him really good. He gets in, kills your back line, and you don't even know when they're dead most of the time. You're just waiting for heals, but the healers are at spawn because Black Panther killed him. He's crazy good. Black Widow, instant F tier. How do you have a sniper and Hawkeye has a bow and arrow? He does one shot shots. You can't. I mean, her kit is not really good. She's a better melee fighter than she is range, and that's just a no no because she doesn't have the things like what an Iron Fist or a Spiderman does to keep up doing those things. And her ult also is lackluster. So a bad ult, a bad character all around. Just I don't even think buffs can save her. She probably just needs a rework. Hawkeye, Hawkeye. He teams up with Black Widow, right? And he still is like the best character in the game, even without his team up. So when he actually gets some good team ups, is it? His ult is crazy. People, it doesn't matter if you move, he's gonna land the headshot because your after images it's just standing in one place. He has some good get off me tools with his sword slash, and he has a double jump. But if you let this guy go unchecked in a game, best character in the game. But ultimately, he doesn't have the mobility like a Black Panther, so he is a lot easier to kill, but still extremely deadly. He can make life a living hell for your DPSs, and your healers. Sometimes even for your tanks, depending on who you play with. Hela. I don't think Hela is quite as good as these two. I don't know if that's a hot take or not, but she still is insanely good. She has the mobility with a crow. She can fly in and out. She has a little stun that she can throw. It doesn't last very long, but it can knock down flyers and it helps you line up your first headshot. She has her L2 as she can shoot the multiple blades, and once it sticks, it does the extra damages. So when healers are coming in too close to the tanks, they take that explosive damage. And we all know her ult, the Hell Unleash ult, even though Strange kind of hard counters it. Still a crazy good ult, still a crazy good character. Even with the nerfs, she is still great. I don't know how great she's going to be without that 20% season bonus, but still a S tier character for sure, in my opinion. Iron Fist, the low elo killer. This guy is extremely hard to get off of you. Once an Iron Fist has set his sights on you, unless you have a character with crazy defense or ability to just get out of there, you need a second guy to stop this guy from killing you. That's just the facts. But at the higher levels, once we done realize that, oh, there's Iron Fist in the back line, we wait for him, we kill him, he's just more of an annoying pest at that point than anything. But extremely dangerous once caught alone and at the low elos S tier character. But ultimately, I think people are already kind of figuring him out now. That drops him down by like 2 spots right down there in B tier. Iron Man. Iron Man. I'll put him up here in B. Put him over Iron Fist. When the game first launched, I was like, this guy is pretty good. And I saw everybody was calling him trash. I didn't know why. But he has that, like I said, the only reason to play Hulk is to team up with these guys. But when he has that gamma, bro, his R2 is like his standard blast. The radius on it is so big. It does so much damage with direct hits. When you go maximum overdrive and just use your repulse beam, you can just shred tanks. He's like the second best tank shredder in the game behind Wolverine at that point. He has his missiles, but nobody really uses. And we all know the crazy ult. You have maximum holds. It's pretty telegraphed now. Everybody's getting catching on to it. But you're still gonna do at least at the very least clear the point, with that. And he could fly, so he's pretty good. Magik. Magik, I don't know if I put her in S tier. Probably. Let's put her at the top of A for now. She is a worse Black Panther, in my opinion. Still really good because he's at the top of the tier list. But Black Panther is a lot quicker and he's a lot more precise with his attacks, meaning he can do more damage. She does more like destructive damage, so she hurts a lot more people. But Black Panther, he's like an assassin. He really gets in there and kills the character, and that's it, and that's done. But Magik is still pretty good though, and I feel like she could get a few more buffs. And she's really hard to kill too because when she steps through those portals, she actually gets some health back when she does the damage, and moving through the portal makes her a little invulnerable. You have to wait for her to spawn again, but she's still pretty good. Moon Knight. I believe Moon Knight is better than Iron Fist. I don't know if that's a hot take. But if the team is stacking, or if they're trying to hold a point, Moon Knight just makes that possible. And still to this day, a lot of people don't know what his onks do, and they just let him go to town on the whole team whilst he's just destroying everybody. I still till this day I still don't understand that. But his ultimate got a buff too, which was needed. Most people would say it's not needed, but I feel like it was needed because it's kind of hard to kill people with that sometimes unless you set it up perfectly. But yeah, he dictates how the team plays. If you want them to play space out, if they're playing too much together, he just destroys them. If the healer's playing too close on the tanks, just by hitting the tanks, the boomerangs ricochet, hit the healers, they die. Moon Knight really good. Not that great, but really good. Namor, an unsung hero in every game because the turrets are just constantly doing damage. It takes people a while to realize, bro, because you're in the heat of battle. It's like, oh shoot, there's a turret over there just shooting me. And Namor is all the way on the back line, just hitting tridents. And because of that, he doesn't really die that often. Meaning he could stay there and do a lot of time because he doesn't, do a lot of damage because it doesn't take him much time to get back. from the spawn to the fight because he's always in the fight, really. And his team up with Luna Snow makes his turrets so much more good. Uh, oh, it takes a little long, and his bubble, it doesn't move fast enough to really get him out of there most of the times, but it keeps him alive. Next up, Psylocke. Psylocke is a next assassin. The reason I put her over Magik is because you see the magic coming. Because Psylocke can go invisible, she sneaks in there, takes out a healer, sneaks off invisible, and she has a good ult. It's gonna be checked now by Magneto's bubbles and Hulk bubbles and other attacks like that, but it's still pretty good nonetheless because you're not always gonna have them, and it's not always gonna be on everybody. She takes a while. She takes a while to kill people sometimes, and if you really wait for her, she's gonna carry one character, but she's not getting further than that most of the times. Punisher. I've recently been playing some Punisher, and bro, he is a damage beast. I'm gonna put him right up here. I'm gonna put him right up here because his turret, first of all, is better than a couple of these characters' ultimates. We're gonna get into them. Definitely better than Black Widows for sure. But you sit on that back line, and if you have any kind of background in Call of Duty, or you're pretty good at hitting headshots or anything like that, you just shred through opponents. His shotgun, people please use shotgun when other guys like Spiderman and Cap and Hulk and they dive on you. It does a ton of damage. He's pretty good. He's arguably the best shooter in the game. Scarlet Witch. Um, she gets a lot of flack, a lot of hate. I see a lot of people put it on in D tier. Um, I would kind of want to argue B tier, but she's just not that good, really. I think she's better than these two guys. But that Hulk team up is pretty good, so I'm gonna put her here. Um, yeah, she has a siphon. Hopefully that gets buffed because Cloak and Dagger one is stronger, I believe. But she can go invisible, fly upwards, harass an Iron Man or any other flying target. She has a ult, as telegraph as it is still pretty strong. If you could set it up in the right way, you could wipe teams. The radius on it is huge. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. That's all she has going for her, really. And like I say, when you pair her up with Magneto, she gets that 10% buff, and he gets that great sword, which is very strong. So making a S tier character already stronger, you already get points there. Uh, her and Hulk is kind of in the same boat. Spider-Man, overrated. I hate to say it, but this is my thing with Spider-Man. You take that time to become good with Spider-Man when you could have just become God tier with Black Panther. He's easier to learn, and you get more bang for your buck. Spider-Man is harder to learn, and he's a slightly worse hero. I mean, you could do some cheeky things like pull people off the map, kill them quick, but other than that, that's really kind of all you're doing. You swing in, you pop your out, you get some kills, you swing back out. Most of the time, you're just waiting behind corners when you could really just be out and about there, like with a Magik or a Black Panther or a Psylocke, wrecking damage constantly. Spider-Man, he just pops in for a bit, pops out. He gets his kill, he doesn't die that much. This is a good Spider-Man, by the way. Obviously, a bad Spider-Man is F there. But I put him right there. Squirrel Girl. Squirrel Girl, she does a ton of damage too, just like Punisher. Only thing is, she can't really direct her damage as well as him. It's kind of just like splash damage in the general area. So I don't know. I don't feel like she's as good as these guys. These guys have purpose. Her ult is also trash too. But when you pick Squirrel Girl, you will get a lot of damage and you will get a lot of secondary kills. But she just, I don't know. I feel like she doesn't really serve a purpose that much on the team. Star Lord. One of the next few characters that I picked up at launch. He is pretty good. He could reload. He does a ton of damage up close and stuff. But my problem is, instead of giving this guy some kind of drop off or something, his bullets kind of just disappear at a certain range. They just don't go past that certain range. So if you have an Iron Man up in the back flying high, normally if you have a gunner on the team, that should be able to do it. But this guy's gonna have to fly all the way there. And most of the times, if he pushes too far from the team or far from the healers, he dies. But he has a crazy ult though, so I would give him the top of this. We all know that legendary. but he doesn't get any defense or any extra health when he's in it, so he's normal Star Lord. Only problem is he's gonna kill you before you kill him. But if you put a focus fire on him, he probably kills two people and he's dead. Storm D tier. Did you guys know that she does only 20% damage at like max range? I mean, not 20%, only 20 damage at like max range. Every character has like 250 unless you're like Hulk. But even then, when you're in Bruce Banner form, it's gonna take a 10 shots to kill you, 13 shots to kill all the squishies, and you're just not gonna do that before you get knocked out of the air in a race, especially if like guys like Hawkeye, Hela, and stuff are in the game. No. She does give nice buffs and damages to her team, which stops her from being an F tier right down there with Black Widow. But please, she just needs like buffs until the end of time. They did Storm extremely dirty with this. Bucky, the next shooter in the game. I go back and forth on who's better, but I think I come to realize now Punisher, he's better to pick up and play, and you would be a lot more effective. 99% of people would be more effective with Punisher than they are with Bucky. But Bucky has some extra things in his toolkit. I'll push him ahead of Punisher at the higher levels, if we're being honest. You could pull people in. You have that infinite ultimate. Uh, you could launch people up. You got your bionic arm. All this recharges your gun, by the way. And yeah, I think Bucky is just slightly better than Punisher. The final duelist, Wolverine, he got a buff. So his health goes from 300 to 350 now. Obviously, that's not what he needed, but I don't know if they should up the damage percentage on tanks because he is pretty scary when he gets a hold of a tank. And when Wolverine pulls up, he's going to kill a tank. Only problem is most teams have two tanks. Wolverine is not living past the first kill. So you're kind of going one for one. And at that point, your team is losing a whole DPS. Whereas if the team is running two shield tanks like these guys, all right, yeah, you lose one Magneto, but Strange definitely can hold the line until he comes back. So you're kind of doing nothing there, and that's your best case scenario. Sometimes you're gonna go out there and not even kill the tank and die. So Wolverine, I'm gonna put him in C because he has a use. These two, they really don't have uses, even with her buff. But Wolverine, he does have a use, so I'm gonna put him in C tier. Adam Warlock. My buddy is Adam Warlock, man, and he was swearing up and down to me that Adam Warlock is one of the best, if not the best, healer in the game. I picked him up recently, played with him, and he is pretty good. But like I told him, my problem with Adam Warlock is his heals take a little too long to come back. So if you guys got to push a point, right, and you got to keep the tanks alive, like you just got to become a heal bot, just heal, 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 instead of taking a ton of damage. But you guys are progressing on the point. Adam Warlock is not that guy. He has two heals, and them two heals will carry you from zero to pretty much max health, and he can spread the damage. He's really good at that. But once that goes on cooldown, these guys die, and then you die right after. His ult brings people back to life, but I always like to joke you would need to bring people back to life if you could just keep them alive. But he is still pretty good. If we if we are considering that he's always going to be playing with a next healer that is a crazy heal bot, he definitely be up somewhere in A tier for sure. But because if a healer dies and he's left a heal bot to help finish the push, he just simply can't do that. So I just have to put him down there in B tier. He is still pretty good though, and he does crazy damage. It feels like all his attacks are hit scan. He is crazy good. Next up, Cloak and Dagger. Cloak and Dagger got some buffs. I think they have an extra stack on their ultimate now. Um, it's crazy. The aim assist, these bullets, you just have to look in someone's general direction and you heal them. So if you're a bad Luna or Loki or any other healer that has to make direct contact to heal, Cloak and Dagger is your best friend because they do all the hard work for you. You really could even shoot it off a wall, bounce off a wall, go around the corner and heal somebody. She has a nice bubble. Only problem is she doesn't heal herself like some characters like Adam or even Rocket and stuff can do when they're healing other people. But I feel like that probably make it too broken. You probably don't know this because your Cloak and Dagger probably only plays as Cloak. But even then, Cloak is pretty good. He has the invulnerability. He could amplify the damage a character's taking, and he has a siphon. It's better than Wanda, and it's super annoying. They need to nerf these siphons. But I'd put them right here, right in the back here with Magic. Uh, Next up, you have Jeff the Land Shark, everyone's favorite Land Shark. Jeff is pretty good. I feel like people don't know how to use Jeff, ironically. I feel like he's the easiest guy to play, and people still don't know how to use him. The hose is getting a buff, so you're going to have even better continuous damage. But people, please, when you're using your Jeff and you're doing your ultimate, please put down some bubbles before you do it and kill yourself. Because when you do your ultimate, your team is down one healer, or if you're in solo queue, you probably was the only healer, so your team's down no healers. So just space out your bubbles around there so your team have something to rely on until you get back. And don't put them all in one spot because a fully healed character can pop all of your bubbles. So you put down four, person only needs one, they take all four, the rest of the team is screwed. But I think Jeff, the ultimate still is crazy strong. No, I put him ahead of Spider-Man. That's where I put him. That ultimate is pretty strong. It wins games. We all lost to a Jeff out before. It just takes people off the point. And yeah, just kills everybody. You don't even have to kill everybody most of the times. You just take them off the point and the team wins when you do it at the right time. Loki. I'm a Loki main. And I think Loki is a tier hero. I honestly don't know what's the take on that because I see people put him up here. I see people put him down here. Most of the time he chills up in here, so I don't know. Put him at the top of A. I don't know if that's really that hot, but he has three clones. He has two in his base kit. When he press L2, he can place down another one as well as go intangible, and he heals himself whilst doing that. His banner is crazy because it heals and it also converts damage into heals. So you see Iron Man outcoming, you put down the banner, you already healed your team to full health, by the way. Then you convert that Iron Man ult into more heals for whatever reason if you need it. It's like overkill heals. It takes 20 seconds to come back though. But when you have three clones, each of them do 30 damage or 30 heals, you can delete charges because, like I said, everyone has like 250. So one, two, three, they're dead. One, two, three, your team's healed up. You know, reasons why I feel like Loki is not Esther is because he isn't the best healer. I feel like he needs one more thing in his kit to make him a really good healer. And he's just a hybrid, in my opinion. I feel like he's just like a tank. I mean, not a tank, DPS who can really heal. That's why when you see Loki in the game, you're not probably not going to get the best heals, but he is going to kill a lot of people and do a lot of damage, as well as taking ults. Bro, you have the best ult in the game by the fact that you could take the best ult in the game. And you could pick whichever one's necessary. If you want to take Jeff, if you want to take Iron Man, if you want to take this ult here, which is the best ult in the game we're getting to her, you could take it. Luna Snow, best character in the game. That's my opinion. I say this because she can put her guard on divers like a Venom, a Cap, people who push forward like Thor, Magik, Black Panther, and you don't even have to see them to heal them. While you're healing your tank, they are getting the heals, and a lot of these dive characters they get shields and they get health back by doing damage. So when you partner that with Luna Snow healing you without even healing you, literally, she is the best healer in the game, in my opinion, because she keeps these guys alive while hitting other guys. And she has her R1 ability where she can just shoot that through. If she wants to shoot it through six teammates and six enemies, it's going to heal six teammates and deal six damage to six enemies. Pretty good when it's stacking. She has the ice ball. When people like Iron Fist or Hulk tries to push her in the back line, she can freeze them and get away. And this is the thing with Punisher too. The ability to get back in the fight because she has her ice skating and she's so much faster than a lot of characters. As a healer, once you die, you want to get back immediately. And I believe she is the fastest healer. Yeah, she is the fastest healer. So she can get back the quickest, and we all know her ult is the best in the game. It received a slight nerf because they was like, okay, yeah, you can't swap back. It's it gone from 0.1 seconds to 0.5, but A good Luna Snow knows you pop the ult, you lead the team forward, looking back at your team because you don't need to look at the enemies. You can't attack anyway. Just leave that on damage. The minute someone health starts to drop, just put on health, put it right back on damage. It's easy. Next up is Mantis, second best healer in the game. Most people say she's the best, but I feel like she's more of a DPS than a healer. She is still really good though. She does crazy damage when she buffs herself. She does crazy headshots. She can hang with Hela, in my opinion. Amantis is can be just as good as a Hela when it comes to dealing damage. Also with the fact that she can heal damage. So she has a really good ult too, but it's just Luna Snow ult at home. That's really what Mantis has. But it's still pretty good though. Rocket. The heal bot. One thing a Rocket is gonna do is not do any damage, not die, but he is going to heal you. I put him right behind Hulk. Yeah, this is a good spot. Uh, his heal balls doesn't do quite enough. You feel it when you're playing a tank because your health goes up a little bit, but it does you don't get full. And like I said, when you really want to make that final push and those strong pushes, you're gonna need a really good healer. Rocket struggles at that. He does good general healing if you're a DPS or if you're other healer. But when you have a large health pool like the tanks, that's when you really notice he's not doing that really good a job at healing. I mean, he is doing a great job. He just isn't doing the best job. He also has a redeploy beacon. That, as I was saying, it's pretty important to get your team back in the fight quick. Same goes for Adam. Adam has an ult, but you kind of have to time it pretty good. And it's kind of weird, but because you could end up holding it waiting for 6, or you could just want to use it early and pop it on 2, but then like 4 other people die, and it's crazy. But my problem with Rocket is he doesn't have a good ult, bro. Remember when I say Punisher turret is better than a lot of characters' ults? Rocket is included in that because he puts on the beacon that can be shot out of the sky, by the way, but it just buffs damage, which is good. But it is a ultimate. You have ultimate that wipes entire teams, that swings entire games. Rocket ult is never going to do that. Luna Snow buffs damage and she heals, and then he just gets this deployable beacon that just buffs damage. Yeah, just that ult's not it. Got a little bonus round for you guys to stick around to the end. Uh, Releasing today, Captain America. Not Captain America, Mr. Fantastic, the Fantastic Four. It's still pretty early to put all these characters in place, but I'm just gonna go off based off the videos, based off some really minimum gameplay. I'm gonna put Mr. Fantastic. I'm gonna put him right behind these guys are established. He is a DPS tank and he can heal. So I don't know. We are going to have to revisit this, but he seems really strong right now. Susan the Storm, same thing. She's pretty good. The ult makes you invisible. Her passive makes you invisible. So when you have a dive in Black Panther or Spiderman or Iron Fist, they're not gonna even bother you because once you're not fighting, you're invisible, so they can't see you. So that's the saving grace for all healers. All the Lunar Snows know the pain of being targeted all the time. Johnny, he seems pretty good. He can do pretty good damage. Well, I assume that he's gonna be able to do pretty good damage, and he puts up firewalls, which he might could be able to hold a point. Like I say, this is just blind rankings right now. We're not really sure, and I know for sure the thing is gonna have a fastball special with Wolverine. But I honestly just don't see him being better than the Hulk. Like, what is he gonna do? Throw boulders? Nah, I feel like he's gonna probably be down here, if I'm being honest. But yeah, guys, that is the end of the tier list. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next time. We got a lot of these coming up.